moved out here about 7 years ago when my son was born. We wanted to move away from the city.
We owned 3 acres out here. That was, really part of the great thing about it was we got land too, and we were so excited about that.
To come from the city after work, after a gig, it didn't matter when I'd show up here. You just get out of the car, and as soon as you got out of the car, you would smell the pines. You were transported to another place.
Because we were really happy out here.
Bastrop State Park is the perfect place to get out and enjoy this unusual patch of pine forest.
My wife called me outside. The kids were out here playing with their new toys. She said, "Honey, come look at this smoke. I'm not sure if it's a storm moving in or if that's smoke. It's really huge. I want you to check it out."
We started hearing these things that sounded like thunder.
Okay.
And we didn't know what it was. And I was like, is it raining? That'd be great, because we saw the smoke coming across.
Yeah.
We're like, is there a storm coming in? We're like, what amazing timing.
All of a sudden, it grew to about twice its size.
The sky was just, the ground, everything was just red. And there was just black smoke, because there was more trees right here.
My wife works with fire, so we're kind of aware of how fast it spreads, and this fire was actually traveling 80 miles an hour. They sneak up on you real quick when you think you're in a safe place. We grabbed the kids, threw them in the car, grabbed the cat, and left with the assumption that we would return, so we didn't grab any material possessions.
And I said, we should call the police and just ask where that is and make sure it's not close to us. And they told us not to worry. And they said it's in Bastrop State Park. And then about 5 minutes later, we were being told it was on our back door, and this guy was all amber. And they said, get out. And we tried to grab everything, and one of the cats, we tried to put her in with another cat, and she got out. But I went back in the house, and I tried to get the cat out, and opened every cabinet I could think of, and checked under beds, and I just couldn't find her. And then as I was leaving, we were horrified, because I shut the door, and I didn't even think about it. Just natural instinct, and you're just standing in a panic, and you got a police officer telling you, get out of there. I'm not even thinking about it until I got down the road, and they wouldn't let me back in. That cat probably couldn't get out if I had shut the door, if it was inside the house still.
Right.
And then, we found out that the firefighters, first thing they do when they come out here is open doors.
We literally knew for about 24 hours that our house was not particularly affected. And in that time period, we weren't allowed back into the neighborhood due to the hazards.
Everybody else on my street that didn't have, a cop brother that could come out here, they didn't know till yesterday, a week and a half later almost, that their house had even burned. This is our front door. We started to sift, and I think we found a coffee cup. The mic stand. Now look at this. This was from the window. That's glass from the window.
The whole top floor of my house was my studio, which contained maybe 7 drum sets or so. That's my primary working tool. These are legs. These are legs from my 1962 Ludwig Club Date kit. Kind of a collector's piece. This my grandmother just gave me, and it's a molcajete, a grinder for herbs. This was her great-great-grandmother's molcajete from some of our early ancestors here in Texas.
This building over here was the studio. There's the AMEC that spent about 4 years rebuilding that thing. That's like all the old Lomita masters and all the old masters of my old records.
Those ones in there.
We had, the house insured, but not the studios, because I used it professionally. It's there was part of my income tied in. You had to pay extra for that, and I was trying to get that kind of stuff under the way. I was just too late on that. That side of the road didn't get touched at all.
My policy covered things inside my house to a certain amount of money. And with the type of musical equipment that I personally collected, you can't put a value on it.
I'm pretty young, man. I don't know what I'm I don't know how to deal with all this quite yet. I mean, even just from a legal standpoint. Like I said, I mean, the studio itself, that was uninsured, and that was my job, my life, my favorite things, you know? I mean, I was a lifetime collecting that.
So we've had a tremendous amount of support from both communities, and we just start all over again, you know?
I'm just lucky that we have the family and that we do, and the friends that we do, and you know, and people that are just so nice that have been helping us out. But I know there's a lot of people who don't have that right now. That's terrifying. I want to do anything I can. I from what I can do, which isn't that much, you know. But I can play a little music.
We're gonna